Oh, yeah, Easter. It's where we worship the rabbit
No.
that lay eggs.
Mm-hmm.
The rabbits lay eggs for Jesus? Easter has something to do with Passover?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's like it's always
Passover is the one where the Jew ghosts murdered the Egyptians, right?
I think it murdered everyone.
A good person wouldn't go back in time to kill Hitler. They'd go back in time to help him get into art school. Look, I'm not a fan of cats, but I'll give him this. I've never once in my life ever seen a cat working for the police. What are you, retarded? What do you mean, am I educated? My GED's in the other room. You want me to go get it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chegeland. It's 2021, so anybody can have a show. So I figured I'd have a show. I have no business having a show. I'm not very interesting. I don't know a great deal about anything.
But you have a computer.
But I have a computer and I got some cameras, and so that's all you need nowadays. It's really remarkable. I'm Matt Chege, by the way. I don't know if I said that already.
Nope.
This is my friend Leah. I don't know if you want me to use your last name.
Please don't.
Please don't?
Yeah, just Leah.
Her name is Leah Wojciechowski. So how are you doing, Leah?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Nice day out there. And I think I told you I got some landscaping done today.
You did some landscaping?
Yes, all day.
That sounds lit.
From the time I got up to when I came over here.
So what kind of landscaping you do?
Well, like every spring early, I want to get out there and kind of reacclimate what I had put in the year before. And because it's always good to do it a little bit early before all the bugs come out. And anybody that does their own landscaping knows this, I think. Before all the creepy crawlies come out, get things put in place, and then you can wait and see how things go. And so I had quite a day with regard to picking up some shrubs and trees. Can they see that? No. Don't show them yet.
Don't show them yet? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a big.
So
it's a big deal.
All I wanted to say before.
Big fucking deal.
All I wanted to say before is that I had the day mapped out yesterday to scope out the inventory, the merchandise, the pricing of the local nurseries that have trees and shrubs. And it's kind of slim pickings. Of course, you have Home Depot and Lowe's. They have a certain amount of stuff.
Half of them are sick and dying. No,
it's actually pretty decent stuff. It's just a small selection. And so while I'm looking through Pinterest and Googling things about privacy options, privacy hedge shrub options. So anyway, that was this.
You're looking for that thick bush. You want them thick bushes,
well,
right?
You know what? I'll tell you. I was on Pinterest, and the best sites that kept popping up were freaking Bob Vila. Like all the sites that I would go to, and then I'm looking through his stuff. It's like the best privacy shrubs that will grow the fastest. And then it's like, oh, the best placement for your shrubs. Like every site was awesome. I kept saving all these Bob Vila sites, but I guess
were
that's
they current or were they like 20 years old?
No.
I figured Bob Vila's.
It was nice. Like
Bob Vila's dead. I
don't know if you ever go on Pinterest, but it like directs.
No.
It directs you.
I'm a male. I don't go on Pinterest.
Yeah, it directs you to other sites. And when you have a site that is nice, mobile friendly, you can scroll through. You don't get a ton of ads in the way. It's really annoying anyway.
Right.
And so I went to Bordines and Howell, looked at their shrubs and trees, got some ideas of pricing. And this is going to be probably like a shout out to Bordines.
All right. Well, relax.
Okay.
Relax on the shout out.
But I'm really
Bordines.
pleased with how things went, and Bordines helped that out. I went to Lepic Gardens in Brighton, and then I had a coupon, like I said, that was in the flyer, the buyer's guide in South Lyon.
Shout out to the Southline Buyer's Guide.
Yes. They had an ad for Milford Gardens. They had a coupon that said 50% off trees and shrubs with coupon. So I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy to have 50. What does that even mean? Like one tree, one shrub, your whole gaggle of trees and shrubs, 50% off? That's crazy. So my whole plan yesterday is I went to Bourdines, went to Lepix, and then I was going to finish up at Milford Gardens, see what they had, see what I could get with my coupon. And when I went there, no joke, I don't want to shit on them too much, but no joke, every single tree and shrub were marked up 100% just to say it's 50% off. No joke.
So they're charging double, and
Yes.
then they're saying they're 50%
Yes.
off.
3 different employees came up to us to tell us, oh, yeah, it's 50% off all the trees and shrubs or whatever. And it was like the arborvitae that I got. A big, nice one at Bourdines and Lepic was like maybe $98, $100 maybe. So that's been my obsession lately.
So you
that's all I
ended
got.
up. So this is what you ended up.
Yes, I put it all on the ground today.
This is what you end up doing here.
Yes. I got a blue spruce, an arborvitae, and a juniper.
What's up with the lattice?
And I put the lattice up myself, just as a little extra privacy.
Ugh, I hate lattice.
Well, that's what you were
Gross.
saying, and I said I don't hate it. And this stuff, like I said, come back in 3 years. It's going to look gorgeous. This is just the first
Lattice
day,
is all going
the
to be
first
crumbling
day.
and falling apart. There's going to be a bunch of vines and spider webs on it.
No, you know what? You don't know my yard. It already has vines all over it.
Look, I know lattice.
Do you? I
Okay.
know you got a thing against it too.
My neighbor's got a bunch of lattice on
Yeah.
the one side. That's one color. My other neighbor put up a fence with a bunch of lattice on it. It's like I'm surrounded by 90-year-old women, bro. You know, it's fucking disgusting. I hate lattice.
I mean, it's better than chain link. I'm just one step up from the chain link.
Yeah. I mean, the trees look nice.
Thanks.
You gonna throw down some mulch?
No, because I have chickens. Because I have chickens.
Oh, you have
Dogs.
possibly.
I have dogs that dig. So if I
Yes.
put down mulch, they just dig it all out.
I see. Let me know when I can get some eggs off them dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, so did you hear about DMX?
You know what? I know you said that earlier, and I have to admit I did not hear anything about DMX.
It's very unfortunate. So DMX overdosed. He's in the hospital. It's one of those things about getting older. Like, people who you looked up to, this is just for me, I don't know. I would imagine most people have this somewhere in their brain. But it's like people who you looked up to or thought was sweet, they're generally like 10 years older than you, right?
Sure.
Because, you know, people 10 years older, I mean, not now. There's all kinds of people who are 10 years, 20 years younger than us now who are
Yeah.
like doing big things, you know?
Sure.
But when you're young, you know, 12 to 18 or whatever, you know, people older than you are the ones doing sweet shit, and you look up to them. And then you get older, and then, like, they get sick and die, and you get to see this person die, and you get to see this person who you looked up to not take care of themselves and die, or sometimes they live really old, but the older you get, the more you see go, you know? Now, DMX hasn't died yet, but I saw him on, I doubt you watch Drink Champs.
Drink Chaps? No, I missed that one.
Champs.
That's what I said. Drink Champs.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Drink Chaps. A fucking British show. So Drink Champs is it's on Revolt TV, which I believe is owned by Puffy and
P. Diddy?
P. Diddy. Yes.
Sean Puffy Combs.
Sean Puffy. Yeah, I don't know what fucking name he's going by nowadays. Diddy. Puff Daddy. But so anyway, it's a show with NORE and DJ. I can't remember the other guy. But anyway, DMX was on there, and this is like, I don't know, in January, February. It was earlier this year, and it was dope because, like, they sat down for, I don't know, hour, 2 hours or whatever, and just talked about all kinds of wild shit. But DMX, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was on fucking blow. Like,
well, I was gonna say, do you know what he overdosed on?
I don't know. I didn't look it up. But it was funny because I remember that show, and I remember them talking about how he's doing a fragrance or something, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, DMX has a fragrance. So I went back and watched it today, and this is DMX's fragrance, and this is part of the DMX collection, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't order it, but I'm gonna order it. I'm gonna order it because I'm really curious as to what it smells
too.
like.
Me too. Know? I bet it's good.
Like, what does it smell like?
I bet DMX.
Pit bulls? Like,
well, is this supposed to be like emulated from who DMX is? Because that probably would smell good.
No. This is one of those things where it's like somebody makes
you smell it and then you think of DMX. I would have to think. I'd have to think.
It just smells like, come on, what?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's one of these things where it's like some guy makes fragrances and then he, he talks to somebody with a name, right? Mm-hmm. Like somebody who's got some sort of notoriety that they can attach his name onto.
Yeah.
And then they just say it's, all kinds of, Kylie, whatever,
right.
They all do that shit. Mm-hmm. But it was just really funny because I thought that this doesn't go with DMX's brand at fucking all. I don't even know Isidore. I don't know what that is, but
I'm curious.
It comes
Are you
going to
order
autographed.
You're gonna order it?
Yeah, I'm gonna order it. Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll do that
it
shit
right now.
I'll do that shit right fucking now. So it's very unfortunate about DMX, but it's one of those things where, like, I was just watching. I mean, it was a couple months ago, but I was just watching that thing, and I was like, God damn! Like, he seems
fucked up.
Yeah, like he seemed like he was on coke. I don't know if you've ever been around people who are on the coke, but there's a certain. Anyway, go back and watch Drink Champs. It's on YouTube on Revolt TV or whatever, and if you watch it, God damn, $8 shipping. I feel reckless. I'm not even searching for a promo code or nothing. I'm just paying fucking
Coupon.com.
Yeah, so while I'm doing this, did you a DMX fan?
No, I only know whatever I know from the radio. Think you'll have it by next week?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
Hopefully.
I just feel like it's going to smell like cool water for some reason.
Priority. It probably is just cool water.
That's good. That's fine. That's pleasant.
They just bought the gallon jugs of it, and they're just pouring it in these little
like
vials.
Cool water, not exactly.
All right, so it says 5 to 7 days.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so next on a list, Seaspiracy.
That's what you said, Seaspirit. It's a documentary. That's on Netflix.
Documentary.
A documentary.
It's a documentary. It's on
Seaspirit.
Netflix.
How do you spell that? Like SEA? Like in the sea,
yeah,
in the ocean?
They're mixing sea and conspiracy.
A Seaspiracy. Is it about straws and turtles?
That's a part of it.
Really?
Now, see, here's the thing.
Just guessing.
I just threw it on because it was like something I hadn't seen before, right? And when I'm working, I got all my screens, right? So it's like I gotta always have something on. Whether I'm just listening to it or it's kind of on in the background, I'm not really focused on it. I gotta have something on. So
And this perked your interest when it was on?
Yeah. I like documentaries. So anyway, it's talking about the sea, and I assumed they were just going to be talking about turtles eating straws.
Right.
And how
That's what I assumed.
Straws are bad. Yeah. So what was kind of refreshing about it is they were talking about all kinds of other things, like basically just the seafood industry, and how the seafood industry, they're the ones who are, okay, so you ever see any of these Save the Oceans or blah, 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 and they're always talking about, and like how much trash is in the sea, right? They're always talking about straws and plastic and, which I always found interesting because I remember, I don't know, it was a couple of years ago when somebody was talking about this shit. And like I went online and it's like, it turns, don't quote me here, but it turns out like, 70% of the plastic in the ocean comes from Asia, So and then a whole lot of it comes from the U.S. military.
Sure.
And cruise ships just dumping their shit. Like, so I always found it hilarious when it's like, you go to Starbucks and I'm just a person and they have paper straws because plastic straws are, it's like, okay. Right. And it ends up being, it's like 0.003% of the plastic in the ocean is straws.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we live in Michigan. So I could throw plastic straws all over the place on
They're
roads,
not getting to the sea turtles.
and it's not getting to the ocean.
Right.
It's being picked up by street sweepers or whatever, and then it's going in a landfill somewhere.
And then after this year, nobody cares. I mean, this is the meme, right? Last year, which like 2019, everybody cared about straws. But then 2020, you go to Kroger, and in the parking lot, there's masks, there's gloves, there's masks, there's gloves. All over the parking lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole meme, is that the year before,
Right.
everybody was up in a tizzy about the damn ass straws. Even my mom got a reusable straw.
Which is fine, but to act like it's one of those things that goes back to it's an empty sentiment. And people treat it as it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna fix shit and do some damage, but it's not doing almost anything. It's doing
Right.
next to nothing.
Right.
So they kind of covered a little bit of that. They didn't pin a lot of the plastic in the ocean on Asia, but they did bring up how I think it's like 60% of all the shit in the ocean, it comes from fishing, and it's fishing nets. Which is very interesting how it never gets brought up. And then they get into, they're talking to some, it's some
Marine biologist?
No.
Oh.
It's some organization that, it's like they're donate to us and we help protect the oceans, whatever. And it turns out that they are sponsored by or owned by fishing cartels, right? Which is why on their website they don't bring up fishing nets at all. And why none of these people bring up anything about fishing industry. And then it got into slavery. So like and I don't know, it was like in the Philippines, like it's like, you can be at a bar, right? You can be at a local bar and some guy buys you drinks. I would imagine because you look like you look like you're maybe down on your luck, and then they're talking about money, you need a job, blah, blah, blah. So what they do is they get the people on the boats, and then once they're on the boats, they can't get off the fucking boats.
Right. Like Cabin Boy.
I've never seen Cabin Boy.
Maybe we should watch it and comment on it.
Is that
for the viewers?
Is that the one with who's
Chris
in Cabin
Elliott?
Boy?
Chris Elliott, isn't it? And
Was in Home Alone?
No, that's Macaulay Culkin.
No, he was one of the robbers. Chris Elliott. I don't remember. Chris Elliott.
No, that's not Joe Pesci, but
Is that Chris Elliott?
it's not Chris Elliott. Chris Elliott's weird, and he never really did anything. forget the other robber's name.
Oh yeah, he was a creepy guy with the little arm in the scary movie. Yeah. Oh, let me just put my hand in it.
My strong arm. That was the best
Chris
part
Elliott.
of those whole movies. So he's in Cabin Boy, and I've watched this movie a bunch of times. Everybody hates Cabin Boy, but it's like some weird cult classic for weird people.
I would imagine because it's probably a weird movie.
It's weird. I
There's
haven't
probably
seen it
some
in a
funny
long
parts,
time, but
right?
like me and my friend watched it like a bunch of times in middle school.
Well,
thought it was.
I'll have to download a torrent of that.
I'm going to download it too and rewatch it, and then I'll tell you. So anyway, gets taken on a boat, and he's pretty much just the cabin boy, and he has to feed him chum, stuff like that. So that's probably the same thing with these slave boat
Does he have
slaves.
to clean cum up off the?
I don't think it's
Is there a
that
joke
gross.
of-
I don't think it's that gross, but they definitely talk about chum, and it's just weird. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch it.
Chum. I had a girlfriend, and she'd be on her period, and she was, I don't know, she was kind of like self-conscious about shit, and like I'd always make fun of I'd call it fish bits and chum chunks. Mm-hmm. I thought it was funny. So
Like when she forgot to flush the toilet.
just anytime, I don't know, like when it was like put a top when I'm when
Okay.
you know what I mean. Yeah, so next on the list, The Walking Dead.
Wait, what did you bring to say about the documentary?
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. So Seaspiracy. So I'm watching it the whole time, and it was good, except there's some parts where they do this, documentaries do this thing. The really good ones don't do it. The shitty ones always do it, and it's they are 100% of. Then the ones in the middle, they sometimes do it. So this, I thought it was a decent documentary, but they do this thing. So this thing is where they create drama. Mm-hmm. So like the main guy, whatever his fucking name is, he's like, they fly to whatever, some fucking Asian city, stop Asian hate. They fly to some Asian city, and they like show up at the headquarters of this ocean,
Embassy
this ocean place,
Okay.
And they do the thing where it's like, this is like a building. There's like employees and offices and shit, and they just show up and they want to interview. And it's like, I don't care who you are. You can't just show up to a place. You got to call and you got to schedule a meeting, and then you show up, and so they do the thing where he just shows up. It's like, and then they're like,
bombarded him.
well, he just shows up. He shows up unannounced, and then they're like, yeah, we can't, yeah, we don't, we're not available to do an interview with you. And then he's like, yeah, they won't talk.
They
to
wouldn't
me 'cause
speak
blah,
to
blah, blah.
us.
Yeah, and it's just like, come on, guy, So that shit was kind of silly, but generally it's pretty good. Now, this is one of those things where, like, I'm watching it, and most people who eat fish would probably be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat as many fish anymore. Maybe.
Because of pollution? Or because they don't want to support these nasty fishermen?
Well, for lots of reasons. So, yeah, the fishing industry, there's fucking slavery. There's, they got into all kinds of things with like fish farming.
Like unethical practices. And, well, fish farming is, from what I understand, is like gross.
Yeah.
Like if it's farm raised, you should not eat it.
They like in the sea, it's like you catch fish, but like the sick fish, they generally die. They die, sink to the bottom, fucking whatever. But when you're farming fish, they don't, and they're all in these, not enclosed, but there's nets in the ocean, and it's like their shit just stays in there.
Yeah,
and
I'm okay with that.
they get diseases because they're all enclosed, right, in these nets, so they get diseases, so the diseases spread fast. And then they end up like just, they're like, I don't know, 40%, 50%, 60% of the fish, they just throw them away because they're so sick and diseased. So there's a whole thing about how, you shouldn't eat fish, and I'm just
Was
watching
that the moral of the story is not to eat fish? The documentary's
yeah,
objective?
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, you could probably say that. But my whole thing is like, I don't fucking eat fish.
I like fish.
Well, here's the thing. It also has a shit ton of fucking mercury in it.
I like mercury. Makes me crazy. I like to be a little zany.
Okay, all right.
Well, I heard the Great Lakes fish, you're going to get a hefty dose of mercury, but oceans too?
All fish, you're going to get fucking mercury.
You know, I like cod.
All right, fish fillet.
I like a fish fillet too.
You're a fish fillet fan?
Yes.
That's
I like
very
fish fillet.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't eat fish. I don't eat seafood. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't. Me personally, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
Well, you know what? You just don't have to eat fish because they said so. So you're doing your part.
I was already doing my part.
Well, you're gonna
you know what I mean?
Just continue to do so.
Yeah. So don't eat fish. Fish isn't. All right. Well, then eat some fish. Whatever. Speaking of dead fish, The Walking Dead. So you fucking hate The Walking Dead, right?
I do.
Okay. Let me tell you why I hate The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Or do you want to go first?
Nope. I want to go second.
Okay. So I used to like The Walking Dead. I don't remember when it kind of like, it was like I stopped caring, but like this season, I mean, the past couple seasons are like whatever, like I pretty much just watch them. Like I watch them because I feel like I'm obligated to watch them because I want to know how the story ends because next, which is really a fucking weird thing because it's like my life would be perfectly fine if I didn't watch it.
And what season are they on? Like 12?
They are in season 10.
Yeah. That's a lot.
It is a lot, yeah. So this season they like stopped. At some point they stopped. I don't know their filming how their filming schedule is related to the episodes airing. What I mean by that is like I don't know if all the episodes we've been seeing the past 4 or 5 weeks they were filmed 6 months or a year ago,
right,
or they film them and then like a week later they air them. I'm guessing that these were filmed like sometime last year during COVID. And I'm guessing that because every episode there's like 2 or 3 people in them. Like so it's
just
like
focused on those characters for that.
So there's COVID restrictions, so they can't do things where there's big groups,
right,
or they don't think they can, right? Or there's some kind of studio pressure, or who knows, whatever.
Yeah, 6 months ago.
And so it's just really, it's just this shit is boring as fuck. Like it's like, all right, these 2 guys, and they're trying to get to a place, and then they try to. I might be completely imagining this, but it seems to me it's like they had to figure out how to write. All right, we got to do a show, but we can only have 2 actors interacting at once because of COVID testing. So we have to figure out how to write stories for and it's just it was already bad, but because of that, it makes it already way worse.
Did you write a letter to the producers or anything?
No, I didn't write a fucking letter to the producers.
Sometimes that helps.
No. So why do you hate The Walking Dead?
I can't watch scary things, and it's scary. So I had watched the first season. I did watch the first season like a bunch of years ago. And when I had watched it, the first season, everybody was like, whoa, this thing's cool. And I was like, this seems familiar. Like the whole show, everything that was happening, I'm like, this, I swear I've heard this story before. I've seen this before. Where have I seen this? And then it dawned on me, my brother had the graphic novel.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
read it.
It was in my bathroom for like a long time, and I would peruse it when I was in there. And then all of a sudden I'm watching it in real life. So I watched the first season slightly reluctantly because I had read the graphic novel, or at least the first 2 or something like that. But I can't do scary things, especially zombies. Not at all. I have very stressful dreams. And when I watch scary things or I watch suspenseful things, like it just comes back in my dream and then I don't sleep well. So I have to.
Yeah, see, that sounds
terrifying. It is.
No, I think you need to get over your fear because that sounds amazing. Like you can just watch a scary thing and then you have that's like highly interactive. It's like
right, not in a good way.
I don't.
If I'm
right,
fighting
okay.
the Joker, I'm fighting the Joker, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and my only weapon, kid you not, ping pong paddle. And I'm fighting hard because like my kids are there and he's going to get them. It's not fun. Nightmares are not fun.
I find nightmares exhilarating because then you wake up and like everything's great. As opposed to like when you have a really amazing dream. Like you have a dream where you could fucking fly or you're fucking Britney Spears,
right?
Or
those are few and far between.
You won the lottery, right? And then you wake up and like you feel like somebody stole something from you, But so
I'll take a pass.
That's really interesting to me, though. So you can't do them because of.
I don't like to fuel the old brain here.
Okay, now can you push that aside? And can you give an opinion about like the first season of Walking Dead? It's good. Mm-hmm. I think it's objectively good, right? But can you form that opinion?
Like
or
okay, so I mean it's not like I can't watch anything or I can't listen or read anything that's scary. I just prefer not to indulge. And with that show, it just seemed to go on and on. And like I had read a book.
It does go on and on and on now.
It sounds like it.
But
even then, it's like watching Lost and the fat guy's like fat the whole time. I can't. That just bothers me. So same with The Walking Dead, where it's like, what? This just can't keep going like
wow,
this.
How are you that's the thing about Walking Dead. There's fucking
endless zombies.
Here's what drove me nuts about. Here's what's always drove me nuts about The Walking Dead is they're supposed to be in like Georgia, right? Mm-hmm. In the South, Georgia, Virginia, whatever, and first off, there's so few black people. Number one. Second, there's none of them have Southern accents. Mm. Number three,
that would bother me.
They're always wearing fucking
long sleeves,
multiple layers, long sleeves.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, there's fucking fat people.
Right.
Now in the beginning, all right, there's fucking fat people. Sure, there's still a whole bunch of food and whatever. But now it's been like in the series, I think it's been like 15 years.
Right.
Since the fall, right?
Wouldn't they just like I would think in my mind they would just like have a city, like they'd make it like Old West and just put fucking barriers up to keep all the zombies out, and then you have people keep watching, then you just have your own little utopia. I mean, that would be the show. I don't know. Well,
and here's the thing. People with brains, right? Like us, human beings, non-zombified human beings are really easy to kill. We're super easy to kill, and we're easy to kill, and we can think and solve problems, right? So zombies can't even think. You just fucking, like, you just dig a pit. Mm-hmm. You just dig a pit, and they'd fall in the pit, and then you'd burn them, whatever.
That movie, Shaun of the Dead, you've seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have watched that a couple times. It's got enough humor in it that I don't get too nervous, because I can't do suspenseful things anyway. I get way too nervous. But Shaun of the Dead has enough humor in it. It has a little bit of gore that I just look away. So I can. That's the extent of the zombie that I will do. Right there. The rest of it is just terrifying. Did you ever see that movie, The Road?
Terrifying.
Did you ever see that movie, The Road?
I don't.
With
I don't
Viggo
know.
Mortensen.
Viggo Mortenstein.
It was a book first by this guy named Cormac McCarthy. Anyway, interesting. Just a little tidbit. Interesting thing. I used to use my mom's library card years ago in Brighton because they have a real nice library. So I would just request books on her card sometimes. And so I had gone in there, and one of my brother's friends was talking about this book. So I went to go request it from the library and didn't tell my mom. My mom went and picked it up thinking she requested it, but she forgot what it was. And then she started reading it, and she was like, what is this book? Because it's not about zombies, but it's about like post-apocalyptical, and like there's like cannibalism in it. It's actually very devastating. The whole book is very devastating. And
yeah, I'm being devastated by this fucking story right now.
I know. Anyway, okay, side note, we just crack up thinking of, you don't know my mom. She's like this sweet, innocent lady who's like all goody two-shoes. And she's reading this book about post-apocalyptic cannibalism, whatever.
Torture porn.
They made a movie about it called The Road.
With Viggo Mortenstein.
Yes. And it was a great book. It was sick. It still haunts my nightmares. Still haunts me. So it's like I can't do anything else like that. I'm not into it.
I don't like horror movies, and I don't not like them because they're scary. I don't like them because they're trash in terms of storytelling and character development and plots, and like shit just doesn't make sense, and it's like the whole genre is based on either jump scares, right?
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's like
or gore. I don't want to see gore.
What was that? And then the music fades down, and then you hear like tiny little, you know,
right.
They tease you, and then all of a sudden something pops up, and then they blare like some kind of audible hit in the soundtrack, which it's really funny. You know it's coming, and you just turn down the volume, and then it's like it just happens, and it's not scary.
Yeah.
And that's when you know it's fucking what you're watching is trash.
Yeah.
It's just trash.
Well,
it's
what
cheap,
are the best?
cheap thrills?
What's the horror movie that's the greatest then? Because there's got to be some that
I don't know.
aren't
I don't think any horror movies are good at all. To me, like Space Odyssey 2001, The Shining, those are fucking more terrifying than any horror movie that's ever been made.
I don't like either of them. I don't like horror movies. I can't do suspenseful anyway, so.
Yeah, so The Walking Dead. Fuck The Walking Dead. I mean,
I agree.
I'm still going to watch it. But I don't watch it, just to clarify, I download the torrents. I'm not, so they're not getting any of my fucking money. You know what I mean? I'm not. Speaking of bombs, Ted Kaczynski.
Unabomber.
Got the letter. Ted
way.
Kaczynski right here.
Oh, to send out?
Yep. So, I didn't know what to say. And the goal here is to have him write.
Let me read it.
Let
me read it.
You want to read it?
Let me read
All
it.
right.
I'll read it in your voice.
You're not going to read it in my voice.
Dear Dr. Kaczynski, I hope this letter finds you well. My name is Matt Chege. I live in South Lyon. You didn't tell him Michigan? A small town, in Michigan.
Keep reading, dummy.
Okay. In Michigan. About 20 minutes north of Ann Arbor.
Smart bitch I've ever fucking heard.
I first became aware of you in 1996 when I was 14 years old. Like many then, as well as today, I believed what the news and media told me, that you were a crazy guy, living alone in a cabin in the woods, randomly mailing bombs to people. I laughed when Will Ferrell played you in a skit on Saturday Night Live, portraying you as some kind of loon.
It still is funny. That skit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things about
he kind of was a loon in the woods alone.
Well,
kind of.
You should read what he wrote. I mean, but I'm just saying, I could laugh at things like, let's say somebody makes a joke about something, and I know that what the premise of what they're saying isn't accurate, if the joke is funny based on the premise's logic, then I can still laugh at it, right?
Sure.
Anyway.
Here I go. It wasn't until 25 years later, after reading Industrial Society and Its Future, that I realized not only were you not a loon, but you were actually 100% right about almost everything. I honestly felt guilty. After reading Industrial Society and Its Future, I felt like a lot of things I wondered about in life were tied together and given the proper context. At the same time, I felt conflicted. Since tech is a massive part of my life, I feel like the threats that stem from technological development are unavoidable, yet technological advancement is equally unavoidable. Was wondering what your thoughts on a couple things. Number one, probably a lame question. How do you spend your days?
Super lame question. That's a super lame question.
I like to start with a lame one anyway. Number two, I love comedy, especially dark comedy. Do you enjoy comedy or any specific comedians? I bet he doesn't.
I bet he doesn't, and I bet it's like just like it's like
he can't. I bet he can't get it. I bet he doesn't think it's fun. I mean, it's not. It's just he's above it.
It's like it just doesn't matter. Like it's like some kind of stupid.
That's my wager. Number three, do you have any thoughts about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Number four, do you have any advice for me, a 39-year-old male? Number five, do you want to share any messages or thoughts on anything else? I'm going to put some cash in your commissary. Butter them up. I assume you keep up on current events with magazines, but if you want any information from me, just let me know. I appreciate your time and sincerely thank you for your writings. Industrial Society and Its Future was an eye-opener. I'm trying to read more of your work. I just have to find the time. A big fan, Matt Chege. Did you actually read the Industrial Society and the Future? Okay.
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. It's not that long.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was when I started. All right, so I watched. So I watched something on Netflix. It's some show.
I saw it too.
A scripted show, right?
Yeah. With the guy from Avatar.
With the guy from Avatar,
yeah.
Yes. And so that got me, you know, I stopped halfway through it, and then I looked for that, the Industrial Society and Its Future, read that, and then I finished that Netflix show, and then I did a whole bunch of more research, and like the Netflix show, it's good as a show, and there is some accurate stuff in there, but it's highly dramatized. You know, there's a whole bunch of shit that didn't really happen, and how things played out didn't really play out exactly like that. But yeah, and he's like 78. Like, it's weird because it's like, I don't know, how do you talk to a 78-year-old? One, and then how do you talk to a 78-year-old genius?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's on another level?
Two, and then how do you talk to a 78-year-old genius who's been in prison for 30 years? So,
and how many people do you think write him?
I don't know.
Do you think a fair amount?
Maybe.
I mean, he's a famous guy.
From what I've read, I mean, he is a pretty famous guy. Yeah. So from what from poking around, it seems like he's always trying to reach out to the media and stuff.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, there's Ted Kaczynski fan clubs and shit. So like, I don't know how many people write him or how many people he writes back.
Have you looked into the fan club?
I don't know. Fan clubs is kind of a thing of the past. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's like a Reddit group and shit.
Yeah, it probably exists.
Man, I gotta piss.
Me too.
All right. Can we do the thing where you sit down and pee and then I pee between your legs?
No.
All right.
And then what, fart?
Yeah, of course. Are you sick of drinking the same craft beers with the same boring flavors with the same tired friends? Hop on a different indie bandwagon with Chegeman's Craft Crack and enjoy exclusive flavors like grasshopper gumbo and tart trout while balming your impressive beard and circus mustache. Listen to your obscure and obsolete vinyl collection like never before while you blast off with curated barrel-aged tastes like musty mango mustard and monkey feces fruitcake. There's nothing more unique than freebasing Chegeman's Craft Crack. This isn't 1987, and this isn't your dad's crack. Chegeman's Craft Crack is always hand-cooked with love, using the finest ingredients, always in small batches, right here in South Line, Michigan. Chegeman's Craft Crack. It's like all the IPAs and all the tattoos had a threesome with all the silly hats. On crack. All right, and we're back. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Chegeman's Craft Crack, for that amazing message. Have you ever tried Chegeman's Craft Crack?
No, I've been waiting for you to share it with me. Craft Crack.
I only got so much.
It's craft.
Chegeman's Craft Crack is incredible. There's lots of flavors and varieties, such as peanut butter pickle. It may sound horrible to you. It may sound revolting.
But it'll surprise you.
But there's a whole bunch of dudes out there with beards and thick black glasses and beanies and weird ear piercings that love the flavors. It's really incredible. Yeah, they have twists in their mustaches. Really amazing group of people with amazing taste in flavors. And Chegeman's Craft Crack is here to... I didn't even have the camera on. Chegeman's Craft Crack is here to serve them delicious flavors that they've been looking for in crack form. Lots of people thought that crack left.
Crack left. It's back. It's back.
Crack left. Lots of people thought crack left. Around 1998, 99, but it didn't. It's back in a big way, an amazingly flavorful way, and make sure that you try Chegeman's Craft Crack. So, Leah.
Yes.
You are a mom, right?
Yeah.
No, you're not a stay-at-home mom.
No, I'm a working mom.
You're a working mom, which is higher on the status chain than stay-at-home moms, I believe.
Well, if you stay at home, usually that means that you have a second income. So I would regard that as higher status than working moms. If you get to stay home and don't have to work, then that's higher status. Is that what you mean?
No, not at all. No. But if that's how you feel. So how do you feel about this?
Oh, they can put stay-at-home mom on your resume for why? To network?
So stay-at-home moms have something to put on their resume.
Why do you have a resume if you're a stay-at-home mom?
Because they're trying to not be a stay-at-home mom anymore.
Oh, when they re-enter the workforce?
Yes, because of COVID. So now, Microsoft owns LinkedIn. That's wild. Microsoft is really good at ruining fucking... Remember Skype?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, wow, Skype. It was like, I don't know, 2008 or something, 2007. I don't remember when Skype came out, but it was like, oh, wow, you can video chat, you know? And then Microsoft bought it at some point, and then all of a sudden COVID takes over, right? And everybody's got to be at home on their computers, and they're all using fucking Zoom. It's like Skype is like it's like the MySpace of video conferencing.
Yeah, I guess so. I think people still use it.
But anyway, yeah, so women, LinkedIn made the changes after Fortune asked for comment earlier this month on a Medium post criticizing the social network's lack of flexible language or profile options for women who leave the labor force. All right. Women like to do lots of things and still reap the benefits. Like, they leave the labor force, but they want to put something on their resume.
Why have a resume?
They want to get divorced, but they still want money, You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Is that sexist? Men do it too. Men do it too.
I guess. No, I mean, it's legit. You don't want to be married, but you still want him to pay for your shit.
Yeah, so I just thought
You're
this was really
wrong.
funny.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Is this funny?
It's dumb. I think it's weird and dumb.
It's really, really, really wild.
I mean, I guess if you're going back into the workforce and you had some gap, everybody's like, "What? Why do you have such a gap in your resume or whatever?" Oh, I was taking care of my kids. You don't have to have it on your. I don't know who uses LinkedIn anyway.
I don't know. I don't. All right, so I did. I mean, I got a LinkedIn account. I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, me too.
Fucking years.
Everybody has a LinkedIn account. Nobody checks into their LinkedIn.
I use LinkedIn. I got fired from the hospital in 2010, something like that, and then I went on LinkedIn and made a thing, and I ended up getting a couple calls, and I still do work for one of the guys ever since then. So, but that was 2010. It's 2000. Right. What is it?
21. 2021
now. So I don't know. But I just thought this. I saw this, and I thought of the Bill Burr. You probably don't remember, but Bill Burr had.
You talk about the hardest job ever.
Yes, the hardest job ever. How hard is it to put the DVD player in?
Oh, my back.
And I just thought this was went along with that.
Yeah, that's good. That was funny.
Super fun. So yeah, I think that's good.
Sure.
Anything else? You have any last thoughts?
Oh, it's Easter tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Easter. It's where we worship the rabbits.
No.
That lay eggs. Mm-hmm. The rabbits lay eggs for Jesus?
The rabbits and the eggs have nothing to do with Jesus, but the rabbits and the eggs have to do with fertility, like the pagan ritual of fertility, which is spring,
So what you're telling me is Christians partake in pagan rituals.
I think they just coincide. And then they molded them together. Just like Christmas. Just like Christmas. Actually, Christmas is even more of a farce with regard to the dates than Easter. At least Easter correlates with Passover in some calculated way.
Easter has something to do with Passover?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's always
Passover is the one where the Jew ghosts murdered the Egyptians, right?
I think it murdered everyone, and the way you could avoid it is if you took the blood of the lamb and put it over your door frame, and then the bad spirit would pass over your house and spare your.
Shout out to Charleston Heston.
Child. Why?
Moses.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking of Charles Bronson when you said that. I'm like,
Charles Bronson.
Shout
out to Charles Bronson too.
I'm like, what does he have to do with it?
I mean, they both were in the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Easter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. So Easter. So what
Easter
are you doing
tomorrow.
for Easter?
I'm gonna go have Easter dinner with my mom and family.
Probably going to do that. And then after that, I am going to eat some acid.
Oh,
thanks for stopping into Chegeland. We'll be back next week. Maybe I'll get a reply from the Unabomber.
That quick.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe he's got nothing else to do.
I mean, what do you do in prison?
Put it in the mail. I mean? Put it in the mail on Monday.
I put it in the mail Monday. And I got to get a stamp. Just fucking buy a stamp for. Oh yeah, and I think it's. I don't know. I mean, there's no other way to do it. I don't think, but I do think it's funny that I'm mailing a letter to the Unabomber.
How ironic. You think he's nervous when he opens his mail? He probably should be, but I think it's screened. I think they screen it.
Of course, yeah. It's a prison. They're going to open it up. They're going to.
I have a stamp. I'll sell you.
You got a stamp? You'll sell me?
I think they're like 54 cents.
Are they 54 cents?
Something like that, yeah. Something like that.
Fucking stamps.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe. It means a lot. I appreciate it. If you have any ideas, let me know. My friend Damien will be here next week, I believe. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Next week, we'll be filming with Damien. We're releasing shows on Thursdays. We record on Saturdays, so there's a gap, but I got a lot of work to do, so it's where I can fit it in. Once again, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to also try to make clips. Short clips from the full shows. So, you don't want to watch a full show, whatever. I think it's a good idea. So, yeah, thanks for showing up, and we'll see you next week.
Who's Damien?